Welcome to day number 4. Welcome to day number 7.
Day number 12.
Welcome to Do It Heartily.
When the wicked person comes, contempt also comes along with dishonor, derision. It's coming to you, okay? He is coming to your company and to your sphere of life. He's coming. He's in your sphere of life. He's come to you. He's in your company, and so you are the object. Okay, you're the object of that verb. Okay, when a wicked person comes to you, contempt also comes, and dishonor and derision come. And so you are the object. So if you think about what this is back on our slide here, is that the word dishonor is the effect on you. You are the object of the verb. This is not saying, the way I understand it, that the wicked person is going to be dishonored or that he is a dishonorable person. Even though those things may be true about him, I don't think that's what this proverb is teaching. I think it's teaching that when this type of person comes into your life, you need to look out because he's going to bring dishonor upon you, okay? In the way that he treats you, he's going to treat you in a dishonorable way, a disgraceful way, a shameful way. And so another example of this in the Bible is in 2 Samuel 16. This is Absalom versus David, okay? 2 Samuel 16, you can read this. This is toward the end of it. Absalom is trying to take the kingdom over from David, and David leaves Jerusalem. He flees with a small company of his men and his servants. And before he leaves a few of his concubines behind to take care of the palace. And he leaves them there to take care of the palace. And then Absalom, David's son, comes into Jerusalem, comes into the palace, he's basically claiming the throne for himself. A very, very interesting story on the side. You should go read the 2 Samuel 16 and really all those chapters there. Awesome story. And Absalom asked for some advice about what he should do. I mean, he's kind of the king's son. His dad is left. What's he supposed to do? And the guy says, hey, you need to put a tent on top of the palace, on the roof, and you need to take your father's concubines that he left, and you need to make them your concubines. You need to sleep with them. And that's what he does. Okay? And they did that on purpose because they wanted to disrespect David. They wanted to publicly disgrace and to publicly shame him. And it's almost like they are taking the throne away from him. And it was a very public, very disgraceful, but a very assertive statement that they were making. And they paid the price for that, by the way. And what they did, they dishonored him. Side note, okay, I realize that the examples that I've given in both of these, with Judah and Tamar and with Absalom and David's concubines, that those are sexual examples, okay? And I just want to, before we keep moving on in this proverb, is that it's not a coincidence that the ideas of shame and disgrace are associated with this type of behavior, okay? Sexual sin brings shame, and anybody who has ever been involved in sexual sin knows that. Whether they have been caught or whether they've not been caught, there is shame, there's disgrace there. And so just a little side note, don't be involved in stuff like that, okay? If there's something in your life that should not be there, you need to take care of that. You need to go talk to somebody about that. And, you know, once you confess and forsake those things, what does the Lord do? He creates a clean heart, a pure heart, and he can take that shame and reproach away. And so, but it won't go away until you take care of it. And so, a little side note, okay, sexual sin does bring shame, okay? That'll take you on the shame train for real, so you don't want to be there. Okay, so back to our proverb. A wicked man, when they come, contempt also comes. You know, being despised and just seen as worthless and disregarded. Dishonor comes, disgrace, public shame, those things come. And what else comes? The last thing here, number 4, is derision comes. Okay, derision and scorn, which is what the New American Standard says, is practically the same idea. It is a reproach. It is a rebuke. A reproach is when someone speaks disfavorably about you. Sometimes you need to be reproached and rebuked. And other times it's done in a hurtful way. It's casting blame or shame on somebody in order to harm their character. And this was done, I experienced this myself one time. And I think I've told this story to you before, so forgive me if you've heard it before. But I used to work over at Cisco, and I was there working, and I was doing my job. And, one of the aspects of my job then was, as trucks came into the facility, I would assign them a dock door to go to so they could be unloaded. Well, Cisco brings in, tons of shipments a day. And if the dock was full, I would have that particular truck driver wait in the parking lot, and then I would go get them and, put them to a door. Well, there was one day, and I don't even remember all the details, but this truck driver, he was upset and he was mad. And he was upset with me because I was the cause of all his problems. And I was not around during all this. I'd obviously interacted with the guy. And then he ends up going to my boss and just complaining about me and how I have not done my job the right way. And he even takes it a step further. He wants to talk to his boss, which is like the main boss over the whole facility. You can't get much higher up than this guy. And he goes to him and he's like, listen, and he's talking about me, which, the big boss, he knows who I am. And he's like, which the guy didn't know my name, but he's like, hey, just got Chad, he's yada, yada, yada. He's talking, and I'm not there for this. And he's just yada, yada, yada. He said this to me. He said that to me. And then he said that I used a curse word to him. Now, he wasn't tattling on me for using a curse word, because people in that environment, they swear all the time, okay? You hear it all day. And so the guy was not saying, oh, he cussed me. But he was just saying, I was talking with this guy, Chad, and I won't tell you what he said I said, okay? But it was not a nice word. And he was just trying to relay the story to the big boss. And the guy stopped him. He said, hold on a minute. He's like, Chad said this to you? And the guy was like, yeah, absolutely. And he stopped him. He's like, that's not true. He's like, he doesn't talk that way. And immediately, the big boss, even though he probably had a pretty low view of the guy anyway, just the way, we would deal with stuff like that all the time. But when he said something that boss knew was not true about my character and about the way I behave, he immediately wrote that truck driver off. Okay, what the guy's saying is not true. He's exaggerating, and he just needs to calm down and chill out. It's not Chad's fault. And again, I was not there for that conversation to even defend myself. But I was talking with that boss later, and he kind of relayed to me the how it went down. And when he said that, I had said that, he was like, I knew that you didn't say that. And just because I don't talk that way. And he knew I didn't talk that way. And he knew my character and my testimony, which, side note, your testimony is extremely important, okay? Your testimony for the Lord can really save you some heartache and can really speak volumes to other people. And the thing about your testimony is that it affects the way people think about you in ways that you don't even realize. And things that they would probably never even say to you. But the way that they think about you is tied to your reputation and that's how they think of you. Your testimony is important. So, hey, don't lose your testimony. Don't lose your good name and your stand and your testimony for the Lord. Okay, it's really important. All right.